Hey everybody, we're now going to do the next season of Criminal Case. It's called City of Romance, where all the cases are in Paris, France. Corpse Chic, that's what the first case is called. Senior Trooper Matthew, welcome to the Parisian Police Squad. I am your chief, Gauthier Delacroix. Delacroix. You've arrived in France at the same time as Officer James here, who's on loan to us from the Los Angeles Police Department. Great to meet you, Matthew, and please call me Carrie. I don't know about you, but it's always been a dream for me to come to Paris. Those French lessons I've been taking will finally be put to good use. Well, you're in luck. Your partner, Officer Mercier, received a call about a rather high-profile murder. He'll fill you in on the details. Matthew and Carrie, you both come here with the highest of credentials. I hope you won't disappoint me. You can count on us, Chief. Come on, Matthew, let's go meet Officer Mercier. Matthew, Carrie, enchanté. I am Hugo Mercier, here to serve your every need. I'm sure we're going to have plenty of time to get to know each other intimately, but for now we have a murder to solve. It seems that a famous top model dropped dead in the middle of a schwa fashion shoot on Pont Alexander III. A fashion shoot for Sure? That's the most famous design house in the world. Indeed, you've arrived during Paris Fashion Week, Matthew, when this marvelous city is filled with even more beautiful people than usual. Now, Carrie, you will join me and Matthew on this first investigation, so I can show you both the ropes. Right on, Hugo. Let's head to Pont Alexander III and find out what happened to that poor model. Oh, yeah. Oh, that's a clue. Got it. Torn paper. Oh wow, Matthew, there's the Eiffel Tower. It's even prettier than in the movies. Oui, it is truly magnifique, as is our victim. It's definitely the model, at least Mark's. I'd recognize those cheekbones anywhere. There's green foam and blood seeping from her nose and mouth. I suspect murder by poisoning. I agree. We'll send the body to our coroner, Nadia, to be autopsied, and she'll tell us more. In the meantime, these torn negatives must be from the victim's photo shoot. Let's see if fixing them up will give us a lead. And you said the shoot was for Sure, right? This cat Matthew picked up has the logo on his collar. Egad, that is one ugly creature. But you're right, the cat's collar shows it may belong to someone who was at the shoot and witnessed something. Let us recover the owner's name. Matthew, it's time to get solving our first Parisian murder. Now I gotta get stars, so sit tight, everybody. Okay, I got 6 stars. Let's get the let's get the negatives restored. Those negatives are of our posing victim, all right, Matthew. And there's a name written on the canister, Lola Du Maurier. She must have been the photographer at the fashion shoot where Elise Marks dropped dead. Agreed. We better ask Lola what happened. Mademoiselle Du Maurier, we are police officers investigating the death of Elise Marks. Ah, yes, it completely ruined my photo shoot. I did consider changing the theme to corpse chic, but that would probably have been seen as insensitive. Just a bit, yes. You must have witnessed the murder, right? Wait, Elise was murdered? I didn't imagine for a second that it was murder. 1 minute Elise was posing and pouting as per usual, and the next she dropped to the ground, and all that bloody green mush started oozing out of her nose and mouth. If I'm honest enough though, the girl wasn't a great subject. She spent most of her time taking selfies and posting them online, like the one of her at Place de la Concorde just before our shoot. So the victim was at Place de la Concorde earlier. Then this Parisian landmark must be our next port of call, Matthew. Place de la Concorde. I'll get the cat collar out of the way first. Charles P. Matthew, according to the cat's name tag, its owner is one Charles P. Charles P? That must refer to Charles Pilsnerfeld, the legendary fashion designer at Chic. Which means this hideous cat must be his beloved Chouquette. He's never without her, so he must be around here somewhere. You there! Give me back my Chouquette! Ah, Mr. Pilsnerfeld. We're police investigating the murder of Elise Marks. Please take your cat and wait over there. We need to question you. Officers, I must thank you for ensuring my Chouquette did not come to any harm. Isn't she the most beautiful cat you've ever seen? Oh, if you say so. But speaking of beautiful, we are here to speak about Elise Marks, who died during a photo shoot for your fashion house, Chic. Did you know her? I make it a point to know all my models. Elise could have become my muse if she played her cards right, and hadn't gone and died, of course. Mr. Pilsnerfeld, did you see Elise die? Afraid not. My petite show had run her off, so I gone searching for her. By the time I got back, was already dead. Thank you for your time, Mr. Pilserfeld. We'll be in touch if we have any further questions. Okay, I see the accordion. I will still get the first star. So this is Place de la Concorde. I get now why it's famous. It's so pretty. But not as pretty as this Chior handbag. Who would be crazy enough to leave it unattended? You're right, Matthew. More importantly, the person who did may have seen the victim when she was here earlier. So we should search through the bag. And you found the victim's phone? Nice catch. Isn't that what Americans say, Carrie? Right you are, Hugo. Let's crack the password on that cell. Got it. Kiki Kloss, a business card, stylist. The business card in the Chior handbag is for a stylist called Kiki Kloss. Let's ask Miss Kloss if she saw the victim before she died, Matthew. Darlings, you're positively in need of some style advice. Miss Kloss, we're not here for a makeover. We need to talk to you about the murder of Elise Marks. Mon Dieu, Elise Marks has been murdered? She was such a beauty and rather pleasant for a model. So you knew the victim. But of course, I styled Elise for plenty of fashion shoots, just like I do with all the top models. Miss Marks was here earlier today. Did you happen to see her? No, all I remember noticing were some dirty pigeons and a couple of terribly dressed tourists. Now if you'll excuse me, I need to post a message of condolence to all my followers. Monumental loss, fashion world. Those are some stellar password cracking skills, Matthew. I'm impressed. Now let's get the victim's phone straight to Emil, our tech expert for analysis. Or Emile, I should say. Three hours. I'll see you guys when these two are finished. For now, this is Matthew. Catch you later. And we have returned. The phone has run its course, so I'll get that out of the way first. Matthew, nice to meet you. How's the world out there? Me, I prefer to stay in my lab. Technology is easier to understand than people. Haha. But how are you ever going to find yourself a girlfriend if you don't put yourself out there, dear Emil? Me, I'm going through a crazy divorce, but you have no excuse not to be having fun. I know. But maybe we should focus on the victim's phone instead of my lack of love life. Yes, tell us all of Elise Marks' secrets. Well, I don't know about secrets, but the phone did contain a curious text message to your victim from an anonymous and encrypted account. The message said, God gave us the gift of life. It is up to me to give you the gift of death, followed by a poison emoji. A poison emoji and a message about giving the gift of death? Matthew, this SMS has to have been sent from the killer. I agree, and what's more, his message was a paraphrase quote from Voltaire, which means the killer must be a fan of the great French writer and philosopher. Matthew, quoting Voltaire may win our killer lovers in everyday life, but it won't prevent them from being thrown into jail. Now, the autopsy. Oh la la, it must be my lucky day to receive not one but two virgin police recruits. Don't worry, I'll soon whip you both into shape. Now, behave, Nadia. Nice to meet you, Madame Benjamin. Nadia Benjamin, okay. Please, Madame Benjamin is my mother. I am simply Nadia. Now, I suppose you're here to find out what happened to that delectable victim of yours. Yes, we suspect Elise Marks was poisoned. Clever as well as pretty. Yes, she was poisoned by something so potent that it dissolved her lungs, which is what you saw seeping out of her nose and mouth. There's only one product on the market that could have done that to the victim, and it's called Pong rat poison. Ah, oui. Pong was the only thing that successfully rid my apartment of a rat infestation last year. There's more. I noticed burn marks on your victim's neck and wrists, both areas where people spritz themselves with perfume. So we can safely conclude that the killer had mixed the poison into the victim's perfume, which in turn caused the burns and ultimately death. The poison perfume was slow acting, and it would have taken about an hour for the toxins to take effect. So Miss Marks must have applied the perfume an hour before she died. Duly noted. Nadia, did the autopsy reveal anything about the killer? Yes, I noticed traces of Paris breast on the tips of the fingers on the victim's right hand. The fingers she'd have used to spray herself with perfume. Ah, Paris breast. Paris breast, however you want to say it. That's a delicious pastry made with praline cream. Matthew, you must try it. Indeed, Paris breasts induce much pleasure in people. Although bizarrely, this one had cinnamon in it. That's not in the conventional recipe. In any case, since there was no food in your victim's digestive system, we can conclude that it's your killer who enjoyed this delicacy and left some on the perfume bottle while adding poison to it. A model who doesn't eat is no surprise. Thanks, Nadia. We'll be on the lookout for a gourmand killer who enjoys cinnamon-infused Paris breasts. Well, Matthew, our time in Paris has definitely started with a glamorous bang. It's Fashion Week here, and top model Elise Marx dropped dead right in the middle of a photo shoot after being poisoned by perfume. All our suspects so far are also involved in the fashion industry, and include none other than Charles Pilsnerfeld, the legendary designer at Chic. Then there's the photographer who witnessed Marx's death, and a stylist who happened to be at the very square where our victim had been just moments before it happened. Where should we investigate next? Egad, what is all that commotion? None. But you're talking out of your backside here. Nadia, what are you... Haha, the only person spouting hot air is you, my dear. Hi, Commissioner. What the devil is going on here? Oh, are we in for a surprise? I'll see you guys for Chapter 2. Don't go anywhere. Okay, we are back now, and we're going to start the next chapter of Corpse Chic. This is the first case in the City of Romance, Paris. Matthew, I knew working for the Parisian police department would be glamorous, but I wasn't expecting to deal with the murder of a famous supermodel straight off the bat. Elise Marx dropped dead halfway through a photo shoot after being poisoned by perfume. Yes, a truly unique method of murder. Egad, what is all that commotion? This is it here. No, but you're talking out of your backside here. Nadia, what are you... Haha, the only person spouting hot air is you, my dear. How dare you question my tastes? I am as refined as they come. Nadia, High Commissioner, what seems to be the matter here? It's simple, my dear Hugo. I brought along these delicious cinnamon-infused Paris breaths from Café Le Frou Frou to welcome our new recruits. But Nadia here doesn't believe in tampering with the classics. It is pure sacrilege. I thought you were better than this, High Commander. My friends, I too am a purist, but the more important matter here is that we know that the Paris breaths our killer eats also has cinnamon on them. High Commissioner, you said that you bought these pastries from the Frou Frou, then the killer must have gone there too. Which means so must we. What excellent sleuthing skills, Senior Trooper Matthew. I look forward to getting to know you. Officer James, please stay. I'm afraid we have some annoying paperwork to complete. Alright, Matthew, you heard the High Commissioner. Let's continue our investigation at Café Le Frou Frou. Must be another one. Enzo Traore. Matthew, our hunch to visit with Frou Frou paid off. This bottle of Pong rat poison has got to be our killers. It's what they put inside our victim's perfume. We need to take a sample of that blue stain on the side of the bottle. And look, the cafe put up a fashion print of our victim. The couture is from this season, so it must have been taken recently. I don't recognize that male model posing with her, though. Let us identify his pretty face through our database. Ah, I see you're a gourmand like me. This is why you grabbed this bowl of petits fours, no? Ah, of course. You think a clue to the murder might be hidden in it. I suppose it wouldn't hurt to look through the treat, as long as we can eat some, too. Folks. Alright. Only got about 10 minutes until my church, so I gotta get this over with. Matthew, let's send the blue powder from the killer's poison bottle straight to our lab chief, Enzo. Cardinal. Matthew, the fellow modeling alongside our victim is one Alexis Cardinal. We should see if Monsieur Cardinal has anything interesting to share about his deceased colleague. Monsieur Cardinal, we need a word with you about Elise Marx. 1 second, I'm ordering a Paris Bresse. The cinnamon-flavored ones are just heavenly. Want one? No, merci. Alexis, did you know Elise well? Did I know her well? The girl's my best friend. As the great Voltaire said, friendship is the marriage of the soul. Zut, I hate this part. Alexis, I'm sorry to tell you that Mademoiselle Marx has been murdered. What are you talking about? Elise murdered? It cannot be. I'm afraid it is, and we're doing our utmost to find her killer. Do you know of any enemies she might have had? Enemies? I suppose a lot of girls were jealous of her, for obvious reasons, but I can't think of anyone who'd have wanted to kill her. Oh, woe is me. What will my life be without my wondrous Elise? Gad, Matthew, this ring lying in the bowl of Petit Four, I recognize it anywhere. It's that insignia. It belongs to that dastardly villain, Antoine Macaron. Macaron's the head honcho of the Parisian mob, and he's been a thorn in our side for years. Matthew, we know our killer was at this cafe, which makes this insidious gangster's presence here all the more fishy. We need a word with him right away. Macaron, we meet yet again under suspicious circumstances. Ah, it is the charmant Officer Mercier. I do not see what is suspicious about being a bona fide businessman enjoying a simple pastry. It is when we know that a person who murdered Elise Marks frequents the very establishment in which we find you. Elise Marks? The pretty model, right? She's been murdered? Don't act like you weren't already aware of it. Now you need to tell us what you know about her untimely death. What makes you think I know anything about any dead girl? I must say, though, I have been thoroughly enjoying getting to know a lot of alive models at the moment. Paris Fashion Week truly is a lot of va-va-voom. Alright, Macaron, we'll leave you to enjoy the sights, but rest assured that we'll be keeping a close eye on you. Could be pronounced Peribray? I have no idea. I know a very minute amount of French. I'll let the blue powder run its course in the meantime. I'll have the rest of the stars collected. And for now, this is Matthew. I'll see you again soon. Okay, we are back. Let's get the results of the blue powder. Matthew, I'm Sean. I am Enzo, official police lab chief and unofficial king of hearts. Hey guys, I thought I'd join you to find out what the blue powder from the killer's poison bottle's all about. Oh la la, Carrie. They told me you had brains, but they didn't mention what a bombshell you are. Thanks, I guess. But perhaps you should focus on the investigation for now. Investigation? Ah, I suppose you're right. For starters, the bottle of poison must definitely belong to your killer, because I discovered traces of Peribray mixed in with the blue substance. As for the sample itself, it's the dregs of a pill people take when they're allergic to dog fur. Which means your killer must be allergic to dogs. Sorry I'm late, Matthew. Did I hear that our killer is Poochaverse? Living in Paris must be a nightmare. Luckily, I am not allergic, so let us go back into the heart of the city and take another look around the scene of the crime. Got it. This bouquet is addressed to our victim. Let's recover the rest of what's written on the tag. And how did this expensive-looking bijou end up in such a tragic state? We should reassemble it, Matthew. care of this now. Oh. The note on the bouquet says, Elise, hope you don't mess up yet another photo shoot, followed by some kisses. Matthew, that's a pretty passive-aggressive message sent to our victim, don't you think? The High Commissioner's our resident profiler. Let's see if he can help us work out which of our suspects wrote this rather scathing note. Matthew, this brooch has Elisa and Lola engraved on it. Lola must refer to the photographer at the photo shoot where our victim died, which means there must have been more to their relationship than meets the eye. We need to question Lola Dumaurier again. More questions, Senior Trooper Matthew? You better make it quick. I barely have enough time to grab a Paris-Bray from Le Frou-Frou before my next photo shoot starts. Mademoiselle, is there something you haven't told us about your relationship with Elise Marks? Because this brooch with both your names on it indicates that you were closer than you let on. Ugh, I can't believe I wasted so much money getting that thing made. The truth is, Elise and I are half-sisters. Our father left my mother when I was a baby to go chasing after her mom. When I found out that we were related, I was over the moon, but I was more naive than Voltaire's Candide to think that Elise would feel the same when I told her. Presumably, she didn't take the revelation well. Elise laughed in my face and said I was just trying to find a way to ride on her celebrity coattails. I felt so humiliated. I cried worse than when I discovered I was allergic to dogs and had to give away my pet Labradoodle. All I wanted was a sister, Senior Trooper Matthew. Was that too much to ask? I'll see you guys for when the mean message is done. Okay, folks, we have returned. Let's get the results of the mean message from the High Inspector, whatever he's called. Jean-Philippe Delacroix. Lovely to see you again, Senior Trooper Matthew. We're going to have such fun together. I'm sure you will, High Commissioner. High Commissioner, that's what it is. But for now, could we possibly discuss the passive-aggressive note which was sent to our victim? Ah, yes, I suppose we must work sometimes. As always, the handwriting of the note's author was extremely revelatory. Do you see the way the P's are curled? It shows someone who is supremely chic and confident. That could be any of our fashionable suspects. What else? Then let us turn to the slants of the H's. This indicates a female's hand at work. A female hand at work. And finally, the choice of XOX to depict kisses firmly confirms the person is being aged over 30. Alors, the suspect who wrote this nasty note is a chic and confident woman over 30. Matthew, that points to only one individual, Kiki Kloss. We need to find out her motive behind sending such a message to the victim. Officers, you don't see any doggies around, do you? My allergies are flaring up. No dogs on our purse, said Mademoiselle Claus, but we do come bearing questions about the bouquet of flowers you sent to Elise Marks. What of it? It was a nice gesture, was it not? Not if your accompanying message implying she was prone to messing up photo shoots is anything to go by. Alright, fine. If you must know, I was furious with that spiteful girl, and for good reason. Can you believe Elise started trolling me online simply because I refused to plug her on my website? When someone as famous as Elise Marks says you're so 2018 and that pigs know more about fashion than you, people listen. You can't imagine the number of followers I lost. In fact, the only thing I gained was 4¼ kilos from all the cinnamon Paris Brie I ended up comfort eating. You seem rather incensed by the victim's actions, Mademoiselle Claus. Let's hope we don't find out you made her lose her life in revenge for your lost followers. Well, Matthew, it transpires that Elise Marks wasn't the sweetest little thing her public persona made her out to be. Not only did she reject her own half-sister, but she also trolled Kiki Kloss simply because she refused to feature her on her website. Having said that, Alexis Cardinal has had nothing but sadness for Elise's murder, which makes sense seeing as they were best friends. As for Antoine Macaron, just finding him in the same cafe that the killer frequented makes him a prime suspect in my eyes. Senior Trooper Matthew, we need you. Brigadier Bonnet, what's the matter? It's your victim's fans. They're causing a riot. Oh my. And I'll see you guys for Chapter 3. Stay tuned. And we return. Let's start Chapter 3 of Corpse Chic. We last left off on Léa Bonnet coming to us. It's your victim's fans. They've all congregated at Place de la Concorde, the location of the last selfie she posted online. And they're causing a huge disturbance. Traffic's blocked, there's pigeons flying everywhere, and the tourists are freaking out. And these fans need to be dispersed right away. Let's get to Place de la Concorde, Matthew. Justice for Elise, gone but never forgotten. Quiet everyone, by order of the police. Your police? Then tell us when you're going to find the monster who murdered our Elise. We're working on it, and you lot are in the process of tampering with a crucial location in our investigation. So if you truly want justice for Elise Marks, you better leave now and let us do our job. Fine, come on guys, we've got enough cool footage to post on our online stories anyway. Right, Matthew. Now that we've got rid of the deranged fan mob, we can finally look for more clues about Place de la Concorde. Allez, hop! Right. Matthew, why didn't we think of taking the security camera before? Let's unlock it. And look, this notebook has our victim's name on it, but it's been circled as someone wrote, "is dead to me" next to her. Taking a sample of that gray powder left on the notebook may reveal who wrote this incendiary comment. And if you think taping up this torn magazine will lead us to something, please be my guest. Got it. Matthew, now you've successfully unlocked the security camera from Plaza de la Concorde. Let's ask Emile to sift through it for any footage relating to our victim. Look, Matthew, our victim and her best friend are magazine cover stars. But you're right. The headline says, "Elise and Alexis, the ultimate betrayal." Matthew, I thought the two models were bosom buddies, but this magazine story indicates otherwise. Let's find out the truth from Alexis Cardinal. No, I cannot do a dog treat commercial. I told you I'm allergic. Apologies, Senior Trooper Matthew. I was speaking to my agent. It seems I am rather popular at the moment. Yes, to the point of featuring on the cover of gossip magazines. Tell us, was this ultimate betrayal between you and Elise Marks? Must you dredge up that horrible memory again? The truth is, Elise was a veritable lioness in heat. As soon as she was attracted to someone, she'd go in for the kill. And that included my boyfriend. So the victim slept with your boyfriend. She didn't just sleep with him, that femme fatale made him dump me. A perfunctory one-night stand I could forgive, but the love of my life could no longer bear the sight of me, all because of Elise and her irresistible charms. Monsieur Cardinal, did you murder Elise Marks in revenge for her stealing your boyfriend? How could you even think such a sensitive soul such as I could do something so vulgar? Got it. So our victim's name was on a list titled Girls with Potential, Matthew. Interesting. Perhaps looking under the microscope at these gray flakes from the notebook will allow us to identify who wrote this list. Cigar ash. So the gray sample from the notebook is ash from a Cuban cigar, and an expensive one at that. Matthew, I know of only one of our suspects who smokes pricey cigars, and that's Antoine Macaron. The mobster had better have some answers about why he wrote that our victim was dead to him. Macaron, you said that you didn't know Elise Marks, so you better have a good Oh, forgot about... Didn't even know my thing had stopped. But it was only a figure of speech, you know. You know, like the great Voltaire uses in his writings. The truth is I was angry with the girl because she refused to become a go-go dancer at one of my nightclubs. How could she turn down one of the biggest honors that could be accorded to a woman? Apart from being my girlfriend, of course. Macaron, we know full well that your so-called go-go girls are expected to provide other unsavory services, so it's fully understandable that Marks turned down your offer. I simply have no idea what you're talking about. Anyway, I gotta call one of my minions to buy me some dog allergy tablets. Good luck catching your killer. Alright, I'll get the remaining stars, and I'll see you all soon. Okay, we are back, and I said I would be back a little sooner than expected, so here you go. I'm going to speed up the camera footage. Ugh, hold on. Okay, there we go. God, I hate it when my mouse double clicks on something. Hey Emile, find anything exciting on that security camera we sent you from Place de la Concorde? I wouldn't call it exciting, but there was definitely something surprising on there involving your victim and one of your suspects. Take a look for yourself. You stupid girl, how could you? Come on, Charles, it was a simple mistake. A simple mistake? It was attempted murder. You deserve to die for what you did. Oi, did we just see the legendary Charles Pilsnerfeld accusing Elise Marks of attempted murder and saying she deserved to die for it? Exactement. But I can't tell you any more because he walked away in a huff straight after. Well, there's only one person who can explain this, and that's Monsieur Pilsnerfeld himself. We need another conversation with him, Matthew. Oh, my magnifique chouquette. Voltaire must have been speaking about you when he wrote, I should like to lie at her feet and die in her arms. Monsieur Pilsnerfeld, speaking of death, it has come to our attention that you had accused Elise Marks of attempted murder. Mais oui, the girl tried to kill my chouquette. Can you believe it? Honestly, not really, but please do tell us more. Well, Mademoiselle Marx looked trustworthy enough, so I asked her to look after my darling Chu while I attended some silly party where animals were forbidden. Imagine my horror when upon my return, I discovered that the imbecile of a girl had fed my kitty chicken of all things, and bought from a filthy supermarket no less. I'm afraid I do not see what was so bad about feeding your cat chicken. Chouquette is a vegan, don't you know? She was vomiting for days after. I feared for her life. What Elise Marx did was unforgivable. I tell you, unforgivable. Time for a coffee break and a recap of our investigation, Matthew. Not surprisingly, have we discovered that Antoine Macaron knew Elise Marx better than he first let on. And I wouldn't put it past him to have murdered her simply because she refused his offer of employment. Then there's the victim's best friend, who was incensed because she stole his lover. I'd have felt the same, I tell you. Finally, Charles Pilsnerfeld had accused our victim of trying to kill his vegan cat by feeding her chicken. I agree the fashion mogul's obsession with Chouquette could have led him to commit murder. Matthew, my cop instincts tell me that we're just a whiff away from sniffing out the miscreant who murdered Elise Marx with poison perfume. So let's take one final look for clues around our killer's favorite cafe. Let's hop. No dice. This must be our victim's trench coat, Matthew. Her initials are monogrammed on it. Let's look inside the pocket. And knowing our killer is a fan of Voltaire in this cafe, this copy of the writer's most famous novel must belong to them. We should see if the fibers left on the book can shed any light on who killed Elise Marx. Matthew, we can't let the killer get away, so let's not lose any momentum. Moment, folk. Okay. Got me a couple stars. Did it. We need to get these fibers from the killer's book straight to Enzo for analysis, Matthew. perfume bottle. The victim was carrying this bottle of perfume in her coat pocket, Matthew. Could this be the very perfume that poisoned her to death? Enzo will tell us. And I'll see you guys when these two have run their courses. 15 and 9, I betcha. Yep. Okay. I'll have all stars collected by then, so for now, this is Matthew. Catch you later. Okay, we have returned. Let's get the results of the fibers. Let's put a killer behind bars, my first one in this new season. Hey Matthew, you didn't bring La Jolie Carrie along with you this time. Enzo, I fear there's no time to be thinking about women. Please tell us what the fibers from the killer's book were. Bien sûr, they're high-end silk fibers used in the production of haute couture scarves, which are usually worn around the neck or as a hair accessory. What's more, I noticed traces of dog allergy medication on the fibers, which confirms that they came from your killer's scarf. So our murderer is wearing a silk scarf, Matthew. Well, they won't be looking so chic when they have to swap it for a prison uniform. Matthew, if this perfume from your victim's coat wasn't deadly, I'd have gifted it to my next date. It smells truly divine. By deadly, are you confirming that this bottle of perfume has been tainted with poison, thus making it our murder weapon? Correct. And what's more, I found 2 sets of DNA on it. One was obviously your victim's, and the other must be your killer's. Who would have handled the bottle when pouring the poison into it? Unfortunately, the DNA wasn't clean, but I did manage to glean that your killer has green eyes. Well, Matthew, our killer will be green with envy for freedom when we lock them up. Matthew, we've now collected enough evidence to arrest the nefarious individual who poisoned Elise Marks to death. Handcuffs at the ready? Then it's time to get justice for our fashion victim. Alright, let's see. It isn't Lola Dumaurier. It is definitely not Charles Pilsnerfeld. But I'll let you arrest that dumbass. It's not Kiki Kloss. Nope, it's not Antoine Macaron. It was Alexis Cardinal. I had to look at the other one just to be sure. Alexis Cardinal, we're placing you under arrest for the murder of Elise Marks. So you think losing my best friend is not tragedy enough? You had to accuse me of murdering her too? The only tragedy here aside from murder is the loss of your pretty face to the world once we throw you in jail. You see, we found the rat poison you discarded at Le Frou-Frou from where you so loved to buy your Paris Bray. And we know you spiked your supposed best friend's perfume with the aforementioned poison, thereby ensuring an excruciating death. What's more, if you think we didn't unearth the Voltaire-inspired threat you texted your victim, then you've underestimated Senior Trooper Matthew's sleuthing prowess. But surely you didn't murder Elise Marks just because she stole your boyfriend. If that were the case, half of us Parisians would be dead. Of course it wasn't for anything as trivial as that. I murdered Elise because she was blackmailing me. Aha, so you finally admit to the murder. And you say blackmail was involved? Tell us more. Well, this whole boyfriend story was just a ruse to get the paparazzi off our backs. The truth is that I was Elise's lover, or to be precise, I was her sex toy. You were a beautiful model sex toy? Sounds rather wonderful to me. It wasn't. The fact is, we were involved in sordid sex games where I let Elise use me how she wanted. At first it was fun and sexy, but then I started getting tired of being treated like a piece of chewing gum at the bottom of Elise's stiletto. And that's when the problems began. Elise just couldn't accept the fact that I didn't want to be her sex slave anymore. So she started threatening to post humiliating photos of me online. If those images became public, it would not have only destroyed me and my career, but also my family. I couldn't let my poor innocent maman go through that. So you decided that the only way out of this was to kill Elise? I'm afraid so. I bought some rat poison, and when Elise wasn't looking, I laced her favorite perfume with it, and you know what happened next. We certainly do, and I think you know what is going to happen next for you. Alexis Cardinal, you're under arrest. Clementine Lebrun, the judge. Alexis Cardinal, you stand before me charged with the fatal poisoning of Elise Marks. How do you plead? Guilty, Your Honor, but I did it for the sake of my mother. Seeing those humiliating photos of her son in the papers would have killed her. Yes, I read in my notes that the victim had been blackmailing you with images of you committing questionable sex acts. But the correct course of action would have been to go to the police, not commit murder. Therefore, Monsieur Cardinal, this court sentences you to 27 years imprisonment. Case closed. At least my dearest maman will still love me. Well, Matthew, that's your first case in Paris successfully solved. Yeah, nice work, guys. I never have suspected that the victim's best friend would turn out to be her killer. And Alexis Cardinal's motive was to stop her from publishing humiliating sex photos of him. Who'd have thought it? I must say I am thoroughly impressed with how you worked, Matthew. The murderers of Paris had better watch out. And I'll see you guys for An American Cop in Paris 1-5. And we've come back. Let's start An American Cop in Paris 1-5. Matthew, I must congratulate you again on cracking your first case with such aplomb. We really are privileged to have you on our team. Now, I'm sure you're dying to see what delights Paris has to offer. Enzo, I'm not sure a dating app's the best idea for me. Emile, what's this about a dating app? I'm trying to persuade Emile to sign himself up for online dating, but the most important thing is to get some great photos for his profile. Wait, Matthew, didn't you meet a fashion photographer during your investigation? Would you like to come with us? Would you come with us and ask Lola if she takes some photos of Emile? Matthew, this would be a great way for you to get to know our lovely team better. You should go with Enzo and Emile. Or Emile. I don't know. Matthew, also, if you have a minute, I'd like to talk to you and the Chief about something personal. Maybe you can meet me in the Chief's office before you head out with the guys to speak to Lola. Let's talk to Carrie first. Chief, Matthew, I have a confession to make. You see, I didn't just come here to work with you guys. The main reason I'm in Paris is to find my brother. Cody James. You came here to find your brother? What's he doing here? I have no idea. Cody ran away from home when he was 16 years old and I was just 13. My family tried looking for him for years and finally gave him up for dead. But then about a month ago, I received a postcard from Cody, sent from Paris. You can't imagine, Matthew. It was like hearing from a ghost. Yes, this truly must have been a huge shock. It was, but it also gave me hope that my long-lost brother is alive and somewhere in this city. Although I probably wouldn't even recognize him if I saw him. Please, will you help me find Cody? Of course, we will do all we can to help, and we can start by taking a look at the postcard Cody sent you. Do you still have it? Of course, I carry it with me everywhere. Wait, it's gone. I must have dropped it. Don't start panicking yet, Carrie. Try to think of when you might have dropped it. Well, the last time I remember feeling the postcard in my pocket was when we were at Place de la Concorde. In which case, we must go and see if it's at the square. We'll just need to stop for gas for my police car on the way. That's the postcard from my brother, Matthew. Thank goodness it was still here. But drats, it got wet and the message has gotten all blurry. Well, I've heard that Matthew's a pro with the dusting kit. I look forward to seeing you work your magic on Cody's postcard. And I know I got time before the next case before the next case opens, but I am still a case behind, but we'll see what happens. Excellent work, Matthew. Cody's postcard message is almost as good as new. He wrote, Carrie, I built a life among the pigeons and rats of Paris. Don't come looking for me. So you see, Chief, my brother could be anywhere in Paris. Remember that a clue can always be hiding, Carrie, and I'm determined to find it within your brother's message. Leave this postcard with me and come and meet me in my office in a couple of hours. Senior Trooper Matthew, I can't thank you enough for catching my half-sister's killer. I know we weren't close, but it still means a lot. If there's anything I can do to show my gratitude, let me know. Well, Lola, it just so happens that we need your expertise as a photographer to help Emile here find love. You see, a beautiful goddess such as yourself may not need to use an online app to find a date, but mere mortals like Emile have no other choice. So we would be eternally grateful if you could take some great photos of him for his profile. Well, I suppose I could spare some time now to help you. There's just one thing. Amid all the chaos of Elise's murder, I left behind the flash from my portrait camera back at Point Alexander. Could you get it for me? Absolument. We'll go straight to the bridge now, and we'll be back with your flash. In a flash. I think this is Lola's flash, but it looks like it got smashed during the investigation. Think you can piece it back together, Matthew? Could be Emile and Emile. I'm not sure. Got it. Zoot, Matthew. Lola's camera flash may look almost as good as new, but it won't turn on. It must still be broken. Guys, I think I can fix it. Leave the flash with me and meet me back in my lab in a couple of hours. That's exactly what Gautier said. And it turns out to be 9 hours, and I'll bet this is 6. It is 6. And I'll see you guys when these two are done. So for now, this is Matthew. Catch you later. Okay, we are back. Let's get the results of the postcard message from the High Commissioner, Gautier Delacroix. Or Delacroix. Carrie, Eureka! What is it, Chief? Did you find something out about my missing brother? It was those words he used in the postcard he wrote you, about building a life among the pigeons and rats of Paris. I knew there was something familiar about them, but I just couldn't put my finger on it. And then I was perusing through some old crime reports to clear my mind when my eyes fell upon the answer. I can't wait a second longer. What did you find out, Chief? It's Antoine Macaron, Pigeons and Rats. Is how he unofficially refers to his gang. Wait, so are you saying that my brother is part of the Parisian mob now? Well, it could just be a great coincidence that your brother used the very same words as Macaron, but we should still question the mobster about him. Is that really you, Chief Delacroix? I thought you were too high and mighty these days to be treading the streets like a beat cop. I see you're still as cheeky as ever, Monsieur Macaron. Now we need some information about a potential member of your crew, an American called Cody James. Cody James? Never heard of the fellow. And anyway, you can't possibly expect me to know the names of all my employees. Next, you'll be telling me that I should hang out with my underlings at Place de la Concorde every evening. Now please leave me to enjoy my lunch. You should be eating something too, Chief Delacroix. You're looking a bit skinny. Matthew, I wouldn't trust Macaron as far as I can throw him. Agreed, but he did let slip that his gang hangs out at Place de la Concorde. Chief, if there's even the smallest chance that Cody might be in Macaron's mob, then we need to find out. You're right. We must go back to Place de la Concorde and search for any clues pertaining to your brother. Do you really think we might find something about my brother in this trash can, Matthew? Okay, let's get our hands dirty. Baseball cap. Oh my god, Matthew, this is Cody's cap. Why'd he throw it away? Are you absolutely certain the cap is your brother's? Yes, he used to wear it all the time, and there's an old blood stain on it from when he banged his head while on his bike. Oh, this is bringing back a lot of memories. It's hard not to get emotional. I understand, Carrie. What's more, finding this cap where Macaron's minions hang out confirms not only that your brother is in Paris, but also that he may well be in the mob. You're right, Chief, and as bad as that may be, it brings us one step closer to finding Cody. Precisely. Now I have some things to deal with, but I shall meet you back at the precinct later for a debrief with the team. Now the camera flash. Great news, Matthew. I tinkered about with the internal wires of the camera flash and got it working again. So can we go back to that photographer lady and get my dating app photos over and done with? Not so fast, mon ami. I've just remembered something else that we must do to guarantee success with the ladies. Mon Dieu, what now? Do I need to bathe in the Seine during a full moon? Ring the bells of Notre Dame Cathedral while naked? Oh gosh. You're funny, Emile. Girls will like that, but what they'll like even more is a man of refined taste and culture. What we need is you holding a quality bottle of wine in your photos, and what could be more tasteful than a vintage Chateau Maigot? Matthew, Chateau Maigot wine is hard to find, but I'm sure a chic cafe like Le Frou-Frou would have some. Emile, stay here and make yourself pretty while Matthew and I go to Le Frou-Frou, in the name of love. That crate's got the Chateau Maigot logo on it, alright. Let's get it open, Matthew. Got it. Ooh la, Matthew. The wine in this crate is an excellent vintage. Emily is going to look sophisticated as hell in his photos. Let's take one of the bottles and head straight to Lola at Pont Alexander for the photo shoot. I'll call Emily and tell him to meet us there. Okay, Emily, one last photo. Hold that bottle up high and show us that sexy smile. And that's a wrap. I hope I did all right. You looked adorable, my dear boy. The girls on that online dating app are going to be begging for your number in no time. Speaking of numbers, might I have yours, Lola? You're cute. I don't see why not. And as for you, Senior Trooper Matthew, now that you're a Parisian, you should start dressing like one. Take one of my silk scarves. Au revoir for now. Matthew, I can't believe how supportive you and the rest of the squad have been about my quest to find my missing brother. Of course, Carrie, we're family now, and we will do all we can to help you. The chief told me that you suspect Cody is now part of Antoine Macaron's mob. Yeah, I'm afraid that's so far. All evidence points to it. We even found Cody's cap where the gang members like to hang out. Well, let's not jump to conclusions just yet. We'll find Cody soon enough, and then we'll discover the truth. Matthew, on a lighter note, I heard that the photo shoot for Emily's dating profile was a huge success. It was. He's going to kill it online. I just know it. Well, I look forward to hearing all about his hot dates. For now, Matthew, how about we all head to Le Fufu for a well-deserved drink before we have to investigate another Parisian murder. Allez, hop. Right? I know I am at least a couple cases behind, but I'll get to the next case as soon as I can, but for now... I'm going to also check out the pet shop first. Not much. Romantic dog, seductive cat, fit bear, no way. No thank you. Right? And let's unlock some stickers. Well, only 19 new stickers, but that's alright. And that will do. And I'll see you guys for case number 2 when I get some help. I'll see y'all soon.